From the heart of the capital city of Indonesia, Jakarta, I'm Erwin Suryabrata presenting special dialogue on economic buzz. This time we have UBS in Indonesia. And for this occasion, we have Mr. Josua Tanja. He is the country head as well as the head of Indonesian Equities and Research from UBS in Indonesia. Our main discussion for this occasion is talking about the current investment climate, especially in Indonesian equity market. Mr. Josua Tanja, Pak Jos, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, we are going to use this as the part of the market education as well. When we talk about the equity industry or market in Indonesia, so far, how do you see or what can be noted when we talk about the growth here in the capital city of Indonesia, Jakarta?
Yes, pasar saham or the equity market, I think it's already quite well established. Daily turnover probably about $500 million US. Yeah, and many investors, actually not only Indonesian but foreign investors, has been investing in our stock exchange, Jakarta Stock Exchange.
I see.
And on today, actually, we are arranging, quite a number of investors, something like 200 investors in our in UBS Indonesia conference, the 7th year that we do this. There's been about 200 investors coming in and meeting with about 55 Indonesian corporates.
I see.
And these are equity investors, and they are trying to find what stock to buy, how updating it up, and networking between the investors and the management. So we are there to bring them together.
I see. Speaking about well-established, what kind of indicator or parameter actually can we use in terms of measuring up the successful level of Indonesia in terms of grabbing the opportunities from the equity market? Is it only defined by the number or the growth of the investor coming?
Number of investor is still very small. So I think there's a big room for improvements. But when I say the daily turnover or something like $500 million US per day, that's quite a lot. That's quite significant. And equities or going public, IPO, has been one of the alternatives for companies to go public, to get funding to finance their expansions.
I see.
And Indonesia, in the radar screen of international institutional investors, the clients that we're dealing with, is already in the radar screen for many years. So it's not like a very recent emerging market. We've been there all throughout. I have been an analyst, for example, almost 20 years.
From UBS standpoint itself, how challenging can it be when we talk about reaching or grabbing the untapped market in Indonesia? Because it is true and it is the reality that the number of the investors in Indonesia still are really experiencing this kind of significant gap. Let's say compared to our neighboring countries where there are so much financial literate. That's why we don't have this kind of problem in terms of the number of the investors coming to the equity.
Yeah, I mean, it always takes education. I actually have a great hope with the putting together of the regulations or regulators from into the OJK, the Otoritas Jasa Keuangan, where you have the
Financial Service Authority.
Yes, the banks are regulated, and the securities companies, the mutual funds are regulated under one regulator. And that helps a possibility of reaching more of the banking customers coming on the same regulator.
I believe you also need this kind of specific target approach for them. And if you don't mind, Mr. Jos, maybe we can continue for the later segment. Let's keep it here, talking about the education. Make sure you are still with us. We are on Economic Buzz Special Dialogue with UBS in Indonesia.